स्थापकाय च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्मस्वरूपिणे अवतारवरिष्ठाय रामकृष्णाय ते नमः। यथाग्नेर्दाहिका शक्ति रामकृष्णे स्थिता ह्य सर्वविद्यास्वरूपां तां शारदां प्रणमाम्यहम्। जननीं शारदां देवीं रामकृष्णं जगद्गुरुं पादपद्मे तयो श्रित्वा प्रणमामि मुहुर्मुहुः। नमः श्रीयतिराजाय विवेकानन्दसूरये सच्चित्सुखस्वरूपाय स्वामिने तापहारिणे अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। अखण्डमण्डलाकारं व्याप्तं येन चराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। ब्रह्मानन्दं परमसुखदं केवलं ज्ञानमूर्तिं द्वन्द्वातीतं गगनसदृशं तत्त्वमस्यादिलक्ष्यम् एकं नित्यं विमलमचलं सर्वधी साक्षिभूतं भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि सद्गुरुं तं नमामि सद्गुरुं तं नमामि। Let us spend a few moments in silence and meditation. Let us offer our salutations mentally to the all-pervading, all-blissful Spirit. Let us offer our salutations to Sri Ramakrishna, Holy Mother Sri Sharda Devi and Swami Vivekananda and Adi Shankaracharya, and all great teachers, all great acharyas, saints, sages, whose teachings we have inherited. May they inspire us with love for the truth. Let us for a few moments meditate on the all-pervading, all-blissful Spirit seated in the hearts of us all. Let us by all means try to feel the divine contact. Let us send forth currents of purity, strength and peace to all our fellow beings, to entire nature. People known, people unknown, in east, west, north, south and all other directions. सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः, सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः, सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु, मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्। ॐ असतो मा सद्गमय, तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय, मृत्योर्मा अमृतङ्गमय। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ। Yes. Let us chant Pancha Shanti mantras, then Shanti Patha of the Upanishad, then go forward. Please repeat. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Gananam Tva Ganapatigam Havamahe. Kavim Kavinam Upamashravastamam. Jeshtarajam Brahmana. Brahmanaspata Ana. Shrunvannotibhis Sidasadanam. Mahaganapataye Namaha. Om Hamsa Hamsaya Vidmahe Paramahamsaya Dhimahi. Tanno Hamsah Prachodayat. Om Sahana Bhavatu. Sahanau Bhunaktu. Sahaviryam Karavavahai. Tejasvinavadhitamastu. Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Bhadram Karnebhih Shrunuyama Devaah. Bhadram Pashyemakshabhiryajatraah. Sthirairangai stuštuvagam sastanubhihi. Vyashema devahitam yadayuhu. Swasti na indro vruddhashravah. Swasti nah pusha vishvavedah. Swasti nastarksho arishtanemihi. Swasti no brihaspatirdadhatu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Yaschandasam Rishabho Vishwarupah. Chandobhyodhyamritat sambabhuva. Dhyamrita sambabhuva. Samendro medhaya sprunotu. Amrutasya devadharano bhuyasam. Shariram me vicharshanam. Jihva me madhumattama. Karnabhyam bhuri vishruvam. Brahmana koshosi medhaya pihitaha. Shrutam me gopaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. हरिः ॐ तच्छंयोरावृणीमहे गातुं यज्ञाय गातुं यज्ञपतये दैवी स्वस्तिरस्तु नः स्वस्तिर्मानुषेभ्यः ऊर्ध्वं जिगातु भेषजम् शन्नो अस्तु द्विपदे शञ्चतुष्पदे ॐ शान्तिः 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 हरिः ॐ वाङ्मे मनसि प्रतिष्ठिता मनो मे वाचि प्रतिष्ठिता आविराविर्मयेधि वेदस्य मआणीस्तः श्रुतं मे मा प्रहासीरनेनाधीतेनाहोरात्रान् प्रहासीरनेनाधीते नाहोरात्रान् सन्धदामृतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतु तद्वक्तारमवत्ववतु मामवतु वक्तारमवतु वक्तारम् ॐ शान्तिः 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 हरिः ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते नमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्तिः 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 हरिः ॐ Shanti Pata of Kena Upanishad. It is there in the book, Telugu book or English book. Please go through, follow it, share it with others, those who don't have. Apyayantu mamangani. Om apyayantu mamangani. Vak pranaschakshuhu Shrotramatho balamindriyani cha sarvani Sarvam brahma upanishadam Maham brahma nirakuryam Ma brahma nirakarot Anirakaranamastva nirakaranam me astu Tadatmani nirateya Upanishatsu Dharmaste mai santu te mai santu Om apyayantu mamangani Vak pranaschakshuhu Shrotramato balamindriyani cha sarvani Sarvam brahma upanishadam Maham Brahma Nirakuryam. Ma Brahma Nirakarot. Anirakaranamastvam. Nirakaranam me astu. Tadatmani nirateya upanishatsu. Dharmaste mai santu te mai santu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Just see the meaning once, please. May all the limbs grow strong. Apyayantu mama angani. As well as the breath and the speech, vak pranaha, and chakshu, eyes, ears, and all my organs, indriyani cha sarvani. Everything should be fit, everything should be capable, everything should be in order. Because I am going on a long journey. And the experience, Sarvam Brahma Upanishadam, all is Brahman, which the Upanishads are speaking. Sarvam Kalvidam Brahma, Ayamatma Brahma, Pragnanam Brahma, Tattvamasi, etc. May I never turn away from Brahman. Sarvam Brahma Upanishadam, Ma Aham Brahma Nirakuryam. I should not become a non-believer or a atheist. May Brahman never turn me away. Mama Brahma Nirakarot, Anirakaranamastvam Nirakaranam me astu. Let there be no turning away, at least on my side. I am engaged in the study of the self. The Upanishads speak of qualities that one must possess to succeed in such a study. Dharmaste mayusantute mayisantu. What are the qualities? Last Sunday I mentioned. 13th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, 16th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, 2nd chapter of the Bhagavad Gita contains divine qualities. So once you are fit with them, filled with those qualities and practicing meticulously, then your journey is protected, it is smooth, both from your side and from the Supreme Conscious side. As it is said in the Mundaka Upanishad, Nayamatma balahinena lapyaha. This knowledge is not attained by the weak. It is for asishta, drudishta, balishta. For those who are strong, who are intelligent or intellectual, and who are energetic. For them is the task. So this is a very significant prayer for all sadhakas. Next. Study of the Upanishads. Whether Isha, Kena, Kata, Mundaka, Mandukya, etc. Idea is the thirst for knowledge is highlighted here. The thirst for knowledge. It is not ordinary inquiry or ordinary information or attending classes. The seeker, Jignasu. And who is a Jignasu? One who is thirsty for knowledge. When you don't have thirst or when you don't have hunger, if I give you cool drinks or some nice items and nicely prepared food, will you take it? No. It remains like that. But by deeper inner transformation, by dissatisfaction with the present, that is also very important. Dissatisfaction is important. Discontentment, I am not happy, I want something else. Sri Ramakrishna gives the example of a child playing with varieties of toys. Goes on playing, maybe an hour or two. Mother is busy, mother is engaged somewhere. But when that thought comes, I want my mother, it flashes inside the child. It gives a loud cry. It throws away the toys, it throws away the articles in front of it and says, Mother, 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 where are you? At that time, if somebody comes and gives another toy, finished. His case is different. It will break the toy, it will destroy the toy and run where the mother is. Or the mother will come running. Similarly, our life. We are all children. Nature is putting toys before us. Nature is putting some games before us. All that we see is toys. So we forget the mother, we forget higher consciousness, we forget the search for truth. Then suddenly, a poet says, nature gives a rap on the knuckles. It will be very, very painful. Some terrible, terrific experience. Then, what is happening? Where am I? Why am I? Why have I wasted all this time? So here comes the question. The first khanda of the four khandas, first question. That we can see the eagerness, the atmosphere of the Upanishads, Upanishadic age. So, the Upanishad, specifically Kena Upanishad, it analyzes the mind of man, scope of human knowledge. What is that knowledge that I am getting today? Knowledge through the senses. Indriya Gnanam, Vastu Gnanam, Tantra Gnanam, Namarupa Gnanam. That's all. I am not getting anything beyond. That is why suffering in the society. Some pain inside, some dissatisfaction inside. So is there awareness today? Something is happening. Gadbad chal raha hai. So that pain, that call makes our life go higher. Makes our life aware. Jagrata avastha. Tasmad jagrata jagrata. Be aware, be aware, be aware. That split the word, play, there's a pun over the word, be aware, beware. Be aware of yourself, be aware of the Maya in the world. That's why Swamiji used the word Uttishtata Jagrata. Arise, awake. You may keep your eyes open in the world, but you are not awake inside. So the questions of the Isha Kena Upanishad gives you. Then Kata Upanishad, Nachiketa's question about the Atman. Then Narada's question in the Mundaka Upanishad. Then Prashnopanishad, 6 questions are there. 6 Vatu, 6 Vipra, 6 Brahmacharis. Ask Pippalada Maharshi. 6 questions, 6 chapters. Prashna Upanishad. Goes on. Every Upanishad full of questions. Arjuna's questions. Narendra's questions. So all this is India's greatest strength. Question, answer. Question, answer. Guru Shishya Parampara. Knowledge flows. So here we find in the Kena Upanishad, we live in the atmosphere of questioning, atmosphere of seeking knowledge. Going beyond the senses. Indriyatita Gnana. Vastutantratita Gnana. The student is eager to know the secret, the truth beyond the senses and the mind also. So, we take up the first question, first shloka, first mantra of the first chapter. Please repeat. Om keneshitam padati preshitam manaha kena pranaha pratama praiti yuktaha keneshitam vachamimam vadanti चक्षुश्रोत्रं कवुदेवो युनक्ति केनेशितं पतति प्रेषितं मनः केन प्राणः प्रथमः प्रैतियुक्तः केनेशितां वाचमिमां वदन्ति चक्षुश्रोत्रं कवुदेवो युनक्ति केन from whom, by what, by whose will. That became name of the Upanishad. It's not the name of a sage or any teacher. So every Upanishad impersonal. So we assume, Shankara assumes, Shankara says, since it is a question, let us take it as a dialogue, as an interaction between the seeker who is very, very sincere, who is very, very truthful, who is very, very pure. He gets a very deep question and he is going to the Guru. Who is that Guru also we do not know. And the answers come from the second mantra. So what does this first shloka say? Kene ishitam, by whose will. Kena ishitam. Two words are there. By whose will. Preshitam, under whose direction. This itself became a big dialogue, big debate, big commentary in Shankaracharya's Bhashya. Ishitam, Preshitam. For that he goes on for nearly 2-3 pages. Why there are two words there? Ishitam and Preshitam. Ishitam is by who? By whose will everything is going on. But why Preshitam? By whose direction also? We will come to that. Under whose direction? Preshitam. Always keep in mind, Ishitam, Preshitam. That debate is going on everywhere. By whose will and by whose direction. This manaha patati, the mind falls on what? Not falling from the goal, falling on an object. The moment I go out of the house, I see so many objects. Mind is falling there. Taking a photograph of that, keeping it and trying to enjoy it. Here is the flask, I see this, immediately mind has taken photo. How many times I have seen, how many photos are there inside? What is that power? By whose will is the mind doing all this? Kena ishitam preshitam manaha. Patati, it falls on that particular object. Kenaha pranaha pratama praiti yuktaha. By whom again? Pranaha, the vital breath. That is the first pratamaha. Prayati, goes, proceeds. Keneshitam vacham imam vadanti. The speech, by which power is it be able to speak, the tongue, the vocal cords, etc., etc. Then chakshuhu, shrotram, kau devo yunakti. Whether you speak, whether you talk, whether you see, whether you listen, who is that deva behind all this? Is it a personal God? Is it an impersonal God? What is that spirit? The subtle principle behind. This is a yunakti, it directs. I want to know, O Guru, that is the mantra. So here comes the idea, Shankara says, all the Upanishads, wherever there is a dialogue, even Arjuna's questions, which is nearest to us as Upanishad, Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna did not go for an argument except for the first chapter. It was one-sided dialogue. Went on talking. Krishna went, listened carefully and afterwards gave him nice knocking. From where has come this weakness and why you are behaving like this? This is anaryam. And then again Arjuna surrender. Shishyasteham shadimam tvam prapannam. Then nice discussion goes on. There is no argument anymore. Similarly, we get this samvada in Master Mahashaya, Mahendranath Gupta, those who have read the Gospel. The beginning, when first visit, he tries to argue with Sri Ramakrishna. Argue about studies, knowledge in the college, because he was a school teacher. Then tells about his wife. She is good enough, but she is ignorant. Sri Ramakrishna knocks him there. So 3 times he tries to argue. He says, is it not good to talk to people, to tell people that it is Mranmayi, Chinmayi, that difficulty that he finds in the image of Kali? Then Sri Ramakrishna says, this is the problem with you Calcutta people, going on talking, going on lecturing. You don't want to practice, you don't want to pray. 3 times his ego is crushed. From that time. Shut his mouth, Baba. If I talk more, finished, he will take away all my energy also. Then he becomes a good disciple and only he becomes a scribe like Ganesha. Purpose of this one is there. So by argument, even Kathopanishad says, Yama says to Nachiketa, Naisha tarkena matirapaneya. You cannot get this knowledge by argument, by tarka. It is faith and sadhana. Then you will get this knowledge. You should serve the Guru. You should interact with the Guru, the kind of love and affection that you show, and then illumination will come. So, Kena Upanishad is a samvada. Keneshitam patati preshitam manaha. It is not an argument, but a reverential and respectful dialogue. Shankara says it is a reverential and a respectful dialogue between the Shishya and the Guru on the principles of enlightenment and consciousness. And what is this question? Who is asking the question? A competent Vidyarthi. He is eligible for knowledge. Not because of his kulam, jati and all that politics, social thing that we are seeing. It is by his purity. He is anasuya. He is free from jealousy. He is free from greed. He is free from laziness. Such a Sishya goes and asks the question. So the question from the competent and keen student is Kena Ishitam Patati. In the body there must be some other principle by which everything else is going on. I doubt that divine principle. Is it there? Is it by its own force? Etc. etc. Because what am I seeing? Achetana prapancha. I am seeing an inert prapancha. Whether the trees, whether the buildings, whether it's the vehicles, is all inert. So in this achetana prapancha, how this body, mind is working, that is also achetana. A doll is there, it is achetana. You are sleeping. Do you know how many times you have turned this way, that way? Achetana. The jadavastu, that's all. So he gets this very interesting doubt. There is achetana shariram. Achetana, in sleep mind also will not function. I am familiar with this achetana. The student wants to know what is that invisible spiritual principle which makes the body alive and sentient. How are the nails growing? How is this hair growing? How is the man growing? How is the digestion going on? The flow of blood, the everything. Is it just a material? Can the car go by itself? Can the tube light burn by itself? Can this mic work by itself? Then something wrong. It is a dayam. Something, suddenly chair is moving. Some movies are taken, exorcist. All the suddenly girl sees like this, it goes. There is some power there also. That's why Arjuna asked, by which power man is made to do a mistake? By made to do a papam. 3rd chapter. Then also question comes Kena. Ata Kena prayuktoyam papam charati purusha. By which power is so-called anichannapi. He does not like to do it, but he kills somebody, he robs somebody, he insults somebody. Ata Kena. Here you see, Kena yeshitam padati preshitam manaha. By which power is the mind falling on the object and taking photos? Or your chakshu, or your shrotra, or your jihva? What is this happening in this achetana prapancha, achetana body? So, ishitam, preshitam, propelled. How many meanings are there for this? Propelled by whom? Propelled by what? Second, activated by what? Third, impelled by what? See, one word carries so many ways to understand. This is a deep inner thing. We can't simply just go away to the answer. Because in spiritual life, in questioning is very, very important. And now don't be just for the sake of it. Are you seeking knowledge? That's why gurus used to test the student. Pipalada Maharshi in Prashnopanishad, when these 6 vatus, brahmacharis go and say, each one of us has got a question. All right, I appreciate, but I won't answer immediately. Stay with me for 1 year. I will observe you, whether you are really fit for the answer. Do some seva. 1 full year, 12 months. They have to do garden work, they have to do agriculture, they have to do cooking, they have to serve, they have to wash, they have to learn the scriptures. Then after 1 year, come, Gautama, come and ask your question. Then second, third, like that he answers. Then they become delighted, they become inspired and surrender to him. Shri Gurubhyo Namah, Paramagurubhyo Namah, Paramagurubhyo Namah. Each one of them praises the Guru and goes forward to become great rishis. So that fitness is important. That's why Shantipata comes, Apyayantu Mamangani. See, propelled. The second is activated. Third is impelled. Fourth meaning is enlivened. By which spiritual principle? Or non-material principle? This is a material principle. The book is a material principle. The table is a material principle. But there is a non-material principle. The Sukshma Vastu. The Sukshma Tattva. What is that? By that non-material principle does Manaha Patati. Patati means here not falling, we should take it as functioning. Mind functions by which? Non-material principle. The Sukshma Tattva. What does the work of the mind? It is sensing, it is grasping, it is understanding, it is cogitating. All this is work of the one fellow called the mind. Manayeva manushyanam karanam bandha mokshayoho. Mind alone is the cause of man's bondage, man's liberation by all these activities. What makes the mind sentient? It is also non-material. It is material. Shashta Indriya, Manas, Sukshma Indriya. But it is a Indriya. It is born out of matter. So, Ishitam Preshitam Iva. As though the mind is goaded, it is forced to perform an action. All of them will get the capacity to think by whom, without getting involved, who is that and what is that power? Electricity in different forms. Electricity is the same, but different forms. Here is a mic electricity, tube light electricity, fan electricity, camera electricity. So many things are going on. Speaker electricity, everything, amplifier electricity. But the electricity does not change. It does its work. It is not affected. Whether I am singing, whether I am talking, whether I am reading, whether some puja is going on here, what is that electricity? It does its work. Similarly, there is a power. I want to know what is that. It is working through so many paths, so many ways, so many objects, without getting affected. I want to know that. There is a thinker behind. Is there a thinker behind the thinking mind? That is also to be probed. A deep spiritual psychology. Kena yuktaha pranaha praiti pranaha praiti tena yuktaha kena yuktaha by what? Pranaha, which is very important. Prana also prayati, enlivened by which spiritual principle the prana is working. And he says, can you tell me the name of that Deva? In other words, Atma. In the Upanishad, because we talk about principles here. Upanishad is all about principles, not persons. There is no Saguna Brahman. There is no Sakara Brahman. It is Nirguna and Tattvam only. That is why Sri Krishna says, 18th chapter, last chapter, he says, Ahamatma Gudakesha Sarva Bhutasha Yastitaha. I am that principle, living in the hearts of all, residing in the hearts of all. Sarva Bhutasha Yastitaha. I am making them work. That principle is making them work. That is what a reference here. I am residing in all beings. So, he is enlivening the prana Shakti. What is that prana? It is Prathamaha. It is the most important principle, prana Shakti. So all the indriyas, Pancha Indriya, Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha, and even the Manas, it works because of the prana Shakti. That is why Prathamaha. Next. Kena ishitam imam vacham vadanti. The very teaching here, or the words are taking place because of some spiritual principle, non-material principle. How am I able to talk? Is the tongue talking? It's only acting by some other power. How are my words manufactured in my brain? Is it just the functioning of the brain? That is the deeper question. What is the principle by which these words are alive? And how do the chakshu, the shrotra, the eyes, the ears function? Because of which principle? And how many are there behind these? For example, the Upanishad says, Pancha Gnana Indriyas are there. Pancha Karmendriyas are there. Chatvari Antahkarnani are there. What is the Chatvari Antahkarnani? One is called the Manas, the mind. In the mind, again, lower mind and higher mind. The lower mind is Vyavaharam. The higher mind is intelligence. And then we have desires, we have doubts, we have emotional oscillation. In the mind, all this is going on. Then we have buddhi, the intellect, the higher faculty of reason. In that buddhi, reason, wisdom, discrimination and decision making. So many things are going on in this achetana prapancham. That is why we are misled. We are caught up in this achetana prapancham and think everything is going on by itself. Then there is consciousness, there is memory. And then we have the ego. See, our life is only body-mind complex, or we're going on mechanically. Get up in the morning, brush the teeth, take bath, have coffee, newspaper, go to office and do gadbad there. And then come back in the evening, tired, exhausted, again go to sleep. Is that all life? If that is all life, don't complain when you get problems. Don't cry, don't go to court. Don't go to police. Enjoy it. Since there is something else, I want to overcome the suffering. Why Arjuna asked the question, Ata kena prayuktoyam papam charati? From where these fellows are coming and anichanna pivashne baladiva niyojitaha? See the same idea here. Kamayesha, krodhayesha, rajoguna samudbhavaha, mahashano mahapapma. He comes to brass tasks, come to the fundamentals. By Rajoguna, you are made to do all this. Then later, the other yogas will come. Gnana Yoga and Kshetragna Vibhaga Yoga. We get more details about this. So for the time being, you see, we have past impressions, which are called samskaras. Then there is the ahankara, the ego. And in that, what does the ego say? I-ness. The pogaru, they say pogaru. Not just aham bhavam, pogaru. Ego. Or individual identity, which claims attraction, which claims ownership, I and mine, mamakara, ahankara. And pancha pranas are there. So much is going on. Atha kena prayuktoyam, or kene eshitam padati preshitam manaha. All these are functioning by which powerful principle, in short. For this, Shankaracharya, while writing the commentary, he says, listen carefully, the inquiry is made by a man who has become disgusted with the ephemeral, with the ephemeral works and their results. In Shankaracharya's observation, who is asking the question? It's not a passerby. It's a very serious question. He's disgusted. Chalu anipistundadu. How much should I suffer? Cycle of birth and death. Who has become disgusted with the ephemeral works and their results, such as the assemblage of the body, senses, etc., and seeks to know something other than these. Seeks to know something other than these, which is unchangeable and which is eternal. What is that? The one remains, the many come and pass around. If it were not so, the question would be surely meaningless. Question would be meaningless. Since the directorship of the group of the body through the will, word and act is a familiar fact. Keneshitam bhadati preshitam manaha. By your willpower you can say, I am doing it because you said, you told me to do it. It's general questions, vyavahara. Why are you doing it? If you say, you told me to do it. Why are you eating? Because I feel like eating. Common sense questions. But here it is not that. It's not just a casual question. It says, otherwise if he doesn't have that disgust, if he is not happy with this situation, he will not ask this question. He is asking every bit. Chakshu, Shrotram, Jihva, Manas, Pranaha. Keneshitam, 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 Kena Preshitam. So this is not a question of Vyavahara, Shankara says. This is a question of Jignasa. A seeker is asking the question. One who wants to realize the truth is asking the question. That is why we have to think about the question more and more. There's a great Swami in Nagpur, Swami Bhaskareshwaranandaji, Mahapurush Maharaj's disciple. He founded the Ramakrishna mission in Nagpur. In his Kena Upanishad lectures, he has mentioned to his disciples, to his students, devotees and others, spend more time with that question. Don't worry about the answer. Think about the question. He says, the question should be vibrating in your mind. Keneshitam patati preshitam mana. You should meditate on it, he says, to his devotees of Nagpur Mat. Keneshitam patati preshitam manaha. Kena prana prayati yuktaha. Keneshitam vacham imam vadanti. Chakshu shrotram ivo kaudevo yunakti. Think. That will be your question also. What am I doing in this ephemeral world, in this changing world? I am going round and round catching my own shadow. That is the elders, the sadhaka, the great masters who keep us heated up. As we say, Telugu, pappu udkalante nippu pettali. You can't put pappu in cold water and say let it boil and become nice dal. How can it be? It will remain there and you will be hungry. You will remain also hungry. You have to have the fire. You should have that zeal. The zeal of holiness, the zeal of realization. Then these questions will have validity. Now, 5 minutes, let us go into the answer. Answer by the Guru. Second, Shrotrasya Shrotram Manaso Manoyad Vachoha Vacham Savu Pranasya Pranaha Chakshus Chakshuhu Chakshus Chakshuriti Muchyadhiraha Chakshus Chakshurati Muchyadhiraha Pretyasman Lokat Amrita Bhavanti Shrotrasya Shrotram manaso mano yad vachoha vacham sau pranasya pranaha chakshus chakshurati muchya dhiraha pretyasman lokat amrita bhavanti. Answer comes in detail again. It is not just one answer, it is the Atman. It is the Supreme Consciousness, everything works. Hello, go home. No. Question, answer, equally interesting. Because the Guru, Shishya asked, step by step, Kene shitam patati, preshitam manaha. First manaha comes, pranaha comes, chakshu comes, shrotram comes. So he's not once for all asking by which power everything is working. Tell me in detail, as Arjuna asked Sri Krishna, tell me with certainty, tell me in clarity, tell me in detail, show me in detail. 10th chapter, tell me in detail, Vibhuti Yoga. Show me in detail, Vishwarupa Darshana Yoga. So this is answers here, detailed answers. Shrotrasya Shrotram. Now summary. The ear of the ear, see? The real power behind the ear. People don't think at all. Only eardrum is working and the wax is there, please clean. That's all. Is our life. Shrotrasya Shrotram. Then Manasas Manaha. The mind of the mind. See the language of the Upanishads. Manasascha Manaha. Vachoha Vacham. Next. That which is the speech of the speech. Savu Pranasya Pranaha. The breath of the breath. Chakshus Chakshuhu. The eye of the eye. The real power behind the eye. Dhiraha. The wise, the discriminating persons. Atimuchya. Giving up. That means all these external things they have given up. Pretya, departing, asmat, lokat, from this world, amruta bhavanti, become immortal. The teacher says, it or Brahman is the ear of the ear, the mind of the mind, the speech of the speech, the breath of the breath, and the eye of the eye. Therefore, the wise Dhira Purushas, giving up the notion that they are associated with these organs, depart from this world, that is, renounce this world and become immortal. That is the general summary. Ordained by which, see, go back to the question now. Ordained by which? Kene shitam, preshitam, patati, manaha, by willed, by directed. Both are required. Does this world appear to be real? In one stroke is by Brahman. But then, since we are familiar or caught up with the body-mind complex. What is the body-mind complex? Pancha Indriyas. So one by one is clearing the doubt. Shrotrasya Shrotram. Manaso Manoyat. Vachoha Vacham. Pranasya Pranaha. All that came in the question. Chakshus Chakshuhu. And then comes Dhira Purusha. One who realizes this, that Brahman is behind every bit of action. That person, he renounces everything, or when he leaves the body, he gains immortality. Pretyasman lokat amruta bhavanti. That highest knowledge he will get. That pure knowledge he will get. Sri Krishna says, Nahi gnanena sadrisham pavitram iha vidyate. There is nothing as purifying as knowledge in this world. It will clear up all the tensions, all the worries, all the samskaras, all the illusions, delusions, all the bhranti. Knowledge is power. Knowledge alone can make you perfect. This knowledge of Kenopanishad. The answer and details we will take up next class, next Sunday. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Tat Sat. श्रीरामकृष्णार्पणमस्तु।